Welcome back to another episode of Hits and Picks. Ty is not here. He's decided to skip this week. It's a real shame. We know what happens to skippers. He'll probably get roasted this entire episode, but it's probably because anyone that has over 100 losses, they don't really care anymore. Brady, how are you?
I'm good. I think he's skipping because the Lakers are so goddamn awful.
Yeah. It's got to be tough paying attention to the NBA, truthfully. It's got to get boring, honestly.
Has he said I was right? Did he say I was right last week
You'll never hear it.
about
You'll never
AD?
hear it.
I
Well,
called it.
I don't know. The NBA is just,
Trash.
truthfully, I think that it's only good for one thing and one thing only betting wise, and that would be the first basket score. Christmas Day worked out so perfectly because all the NFL was on. Me and a cousin of mine would go on, and we would bet the first basket score of each game. It was perfect. You'd watch the first 5 minutes, see who scored. You either won or you lost, and then you just got off it.
I just think it's crazy cool to see that Zion actually is a dog. Like, rarely do you ever hear the story of, like, somebody coming out of college, like Wiggins hype and Zion hype actually being just very good. And they're number one in the West, and every night I just see highlights of him just doing ridiculous things. So that's cool.
But with him, you just think like, oh, he's gonna get hurt.
Well,
'Cause
yeah.
his body can't take all that like athleticism, basically.
Yeah, he is a big boy. He's a thick'em. We love a good thick'em. But yeah, other than that, how's Christmas?
It was good. No complaints.
Christmas, good?
Good. I'm a little sick though, and I know that Jacquez, if Jacquez is listening to me and Jacquez had a 2-teamer yesterday of Duke -3 and Arkansas -2.5. Let me tell you.
Vegas, they travel.
Let me tell you.
Time.
That was It had to have been the worst beat of my gambling career. They were up 38-23. Arkansas had the ball and driving. They were up 38-23 with 1:05 left. Ended up losing.
Arkansas has been breaking my heart the last 2 years. I took the under, so that was nice.
I marked it down as a W.
It's your fault.
With like 5 minutes left. I was like,
it's your
this
fault.
is easy.
They were up 38-13.
Yeah, but we both had the same one, so I don't care.
Dumb.
Yeah.
Just dumb.
But you want to just hop into picks? I mean, is there anything you want to talk about?
I don't have a whole lot to really talk about, especially when we could save basketball for the end. But
yeah, I really don't have anything to say college football-wise.
I mean, not much. Well, we lost another coach.
Well, I mean, dude, we're in the dark ages. I mean, it is.
And Ty is just trying to gaslight me.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, though, it is saying a lot, though, that Clint didn't take the job.
Is it, though? Like,
yeah.
Okay, so he still follows WVU.
For sure.
Obviously. Like, I mean, it says a lot about
No,
WVU, but more so about the coach. Like, why would he attach himself? Okay, shut up. Why would he attach himself to a coach that is probably on his way out? It's not smart.
But didn't you just sit there and say in the group text before this that you probably say it was more the fans that didn't like him?
I mean, that could have played a part, too.
No. I don't. I think I think you're stupid to think like that.
I mean,
Why?
Why? Because in a professional aspect, that's still where you went. WVU is still a Power 5 school versus a Group of 5 school.
Yeah.
You don't care what the fans think or thought about you when you were there.
At me, bro?
I mean, they told him to, like,
scanning.
kill himself and shit, so why wouldn't he maybe care?
Why wouldn't he maybe care? Because he still has to take a step up. I think that says a
yeah.
lot more that he didn't take the job. Like, you still have an experience as a Power 5 coordinator versus a Group of 5. Like, he clearly feels more comfortable. And, okay, if you want to talk about respect, he probably feels more respected at Marshall right now, but he is probably considered an up-and-coming offensive coordinator if that's going to be a thing. Like, who knows if that's ever going to present itself. He clearly didn't think highly enough of WVU to be like, yeah, I think that,
That's
I'm
kind
gonna
of
go for that.
that's kind of the point I was going to make. I mean, I could be wrong. It truly shocks me, regardless of what state we're in, that he wouldn't take it. Because from my perspective, it's like, okay, if you're going into a shitty situation already, anything you do that's bad is not going to get blamed on you. It's still going to get blamed on Neil Brown. And then any positive things that come of this experience solely get praised for Clint Trickett, which then could have, in my opinion, could have ultimately catapulted him quicker to a head coaching job once we get rid of Neal. You never know. Like they could have just plugged him up in there. I was honestly shocked that he said no, truthfully, because like he grew up around WVU.
It makes sense though. Like I will agree with what Brady said. Like why attach yourself to a program where Neal Brown?
I agree.
He only has one more year, so like if he takes this job, he's probably going to be out of the job because the new head coach, is he going to retain him? Who knows? But I think like I don't know. I honestly kind of reminded if he would have taken that job, Neal Brown, offensive guy, right?
Yeah,
right.
Supposed to be.
Yeah,
right. But
I don't know anymore.
The point I'm making is, I still think of like when Notre Dame would have like with Reese, and everyone kept talking about like when Kelly left, like the shackles are off. Brian Kelly always had to have his touch on like Notre Dame's offense, no matter who they brought in as coordinator. Like he always had his say on how the offense was going to look, or like certain things that he liked to do. It wasn't like have free reign. So Trickett comes in, he might not get to do a lot of the stuff that he wants to do, or how Brown runs. So I don't know. There's probably different factors, but I agree. I think it would be stupid if he would go in there for a year when he could 100% have another good year at Marshall and then say, okay, well, I can apply again for this program next year when they have a new coach. It's going to be there for 4 years.
It was 100% a smart move on his part, I feel like. By saying no, he's like brand new as an offensive coordinator, right? Maybe a year?
Couple years. He's been an offensive coordinator.
I know. Was he the coordinator 2 years ago, or was he just the quarterback's coach? I don't know.
I can't remember.
I think I don't know. I mean, I definitely can see where both of you are coming from. I just it shocks me, but I will say I will give Neal Brown credit. He's was trying to do the right thing. Surround yourself by old WVU guys, people that have been in the program. That might be the only way he can save his job, if he can bring people in around him that are involved with WVU. So the idea was a great one.
Would you say that's like the first smart thing he's tried to do as coach?
I would. I think that move at least now goes and shows that, like, okay, Neal is gonna try to pick players and people that are in coaching that went to WVU or were involved with WVU. I'll give him the applause there. That's a smart move.
I want to ask a realistic question. Realistic is my key words here.
Yeah.
I want each of your top 2 or 3 choices of who you think WVU's next head coach will be. Realistic, not. I swear to God, if one of you says Nick Saban or Jimbo Fisher, I'm done.
Pat White.
You can't use the same person. So go one at a time.
Oh damn! Can't use the same person.
So he took Pat White. We'll turn this into a little thing. If one of you guys are right on the next head coach, I'll give you a $10 DraftKings gift card.
There you go. I'll take it.
It's going to be someone we don't even know, honestly.
This is a shot in the dark, Brady.
Yeah.
I'm offering a $10 free bet.
Okay, you said Pat White. Mm-hmm. I'm going to say
Hold on. I got to write this down.
Okay, a die. That's a fucking really.
I don't know how he hasn't gotten a defensive coordinator job.
Yeah, that's a really good one. 2, Tony Gibson.
Okay. I'm going to throw out a real dark horse just because this is a name I know. Vic Koenig.
You're such an asshole.
Bring him back.
Oh, my God.
That's... who's your first one? Adai? Jamil Adai?
Yeah. Which, that's a solid. All right, so I got Pat White, Tony Gibson. Let's see.
Can I play in on this game?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, here we go. Hold on, I'm writing.
This pick 2.
I like your Tony Gibson one.
I mean, he's been doing very well at NC State on the defensive end, and he was doing good before he came to WVU, and he did great at WVU. So
I'm trying to think. That's a I'm not as plugged into like.
Is it my turn?
WVU's.
Go ahead if you want to go.
I'm gonna say Willie Fritz, Tulane's head coach.
Dude, that would be sick because the Green Wave. Can't wait to talk.
I was trying to find like a team that's been doing like really well.
Can't wait to talk about the Green Wave because I'll just say it now. It's wild that it's the quarterback's staying because isn't next year the year that they expand to 12? They would have got in this year. They would have been a very fun team to watch make a playoff game. Isn't next year the 2023, the 12?
No, 24.
Oh, is it 24?
I think it's 24 because they got to set up like all the logistics of it.
But if for some reason it is, that they would be a very fun team to watch travel to somewhere and probably win.
True. But their bowl game is going to be a good one.
Yeah. All right. Sorry. So
This is hard.
This is so hard.
For me, I have no clue who like.
What? Now I'm just thinking of teams, like,
I know.
like kind of how you did.
I'm trying to think of ex-WVU alum that would like. Pat White was a good guess. But
There's another good one just throwing it out there. McAfee.
No.
Dude, that'd be sick.
That'd be crazy.
That'd be so crazy.
McAfee would be like, no.
I'm trying to think of just like different offensive coordinators or things that would like be a good fit.
Actually, dude, I'm just gonna throw out a ridiculous name because you never know. Deion Primetime Sanders.
Oh, like
You
that
never
would
know.
Be sick.
You never know.
That would never happen.
It would, but you never know. Like,
Yeah.
you never know. So yeah, I got Pat White, Tony Gibson, Deion Primetime Sanders.
All right.
All right. Brady, you got one more. I'm gonna throw one out.
I mean, I threw in Vic Koenig, which he was just a joke.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
You could throw a different one out. You have Jamil Adai and you have Willie Fritz. I will say Lincoln Riley's younger brother, Garrett Riley.
That'd be cool. Where's he coach?
He is the offensive coordinator right now at, I believe, TCU.
Okay. That'd be sick.
Knows the Big 12.
Go ahead. Keep going.
I'm trying to think. I'm not looking at anything. I'm literally writing them down.
I'm trying to think of more, too.
Even defensive coaches or, like, random people. Who is UTSA's head coach? I forget what his name is right now.
Meep. I'll look it up.
Because that could be someone that could jump from a...
Jeff Traylor.
I'm torn between two. I'm going to go Tommy Reese.
Oh. Okay.
Wow, you're dipping into the Notre Dame pool.
Or why don't we just get who's that head coach for Nebraska? Got fired.
Here's another one.
Oh yeah.
Here's another one. This is a random one.
Mm-hmm.
Random one, but could be after a year. Jim Leonard.
Who's Jim Leonard?
Who'd he go to? He got fired or
he did
left.
not get fired. They just said he didn't want to do it. He was Wisconsin's defensive coordinator.
Okay.
He was a safety in the NFL. He was pretty good.
I'll take it.
Pretty sure he was a linebacker.
Yeah, I mean, I cannot
Same
believe
thing.
I'm actually going to say this. I don't think next year's Neil Brown's last year. I truly don't. I really don't.
I'm not going to add that into your picks because I like this game because it's interesting.
Yeah.
I'll keep it in there. We'll see if anyone
next head coach, we can keep that, but I would be shocked if we fire him next year.
Okay, honest prediction for next year. He's going to go
7-5, and they're going to keep him. But they're going to sign him for a 2 or 3 year
I
deal.
think they'll go 6-6, and the offense will show like promise, like flashes with whoever the quarterback is. The run game's going to be good, and then they're going to keep him, and then it's just going to fall apart probably next
Mark
year.
Mark it down. All WV fans, when he comes back, the predictions here. I would be shocked if we got rid of him.
Dana Holgorsen?
Fuck him. He sucks, dude. Bring back Rich Rod, dude. Yeah.
I wonder if he's actually going to restructure his contract.
Who?
Ren Baker said like it's a possibility, but it'll be tough to restructure Brown's contract.
Well, if he's smart, he does everything that they want him to do, so he doesn't lose a job.
Yeah,
but I'm not going to get excited. I just
but here's another like thing that I was kind of thinking of. He's an offensive guy, which clearly means that he has coordinator experience, so on and so on. Wouldn't you? If you were a head coach, and I'll even lump Marcus Freeman into this because it affects Notre Dame too. But it's affecting Notre Dame, or it's affecting WVU much more though because of the transfers out. If you were in it the year left, don't you think that maybe he, in the back of his mind, like he's like, I can't keep these guys here. Like, I wouldn't care if I would go be a coordinator again in a couple places. Don't. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, no, I mean,
wouldn't you at this point rather be like, you know, I haven't my success here has not been great
because he hires his friends.
But you can't. But here's the thing: like, I can back him up on that because who else? How else are you going to try and just get somebody? You're not going to get up and coming coaches when you're an up and coming coach as well. That serves no purpose for another person to go there. Like,
I mean, he did,
within,
and it didn't work out.
But I'm saying he has to stay within his coaching tree to make those hires because if he doesn't, who's going to say, "Oh yeah, Neil Brown at the time when he was a good hire."
He was
at the time.
Yeah.
He was a good hire. Look what
But
he did.
was the second best.
Okay, but they should have hired. They should have hired Fickle.
Yeah.
But
was
the thing
he
is
actually in the running?
Yes.
But he was probably too much money.
Well, no, I can't remember. I really think we signed Neil Brown before Luke Fickle went to Cincinnati. And again, I'm not saying that there wasn't deals and already in the making Cincinnati first, but like I'm 97% sure we signed Neil Brown before Cincinnati announced Luke Fickle. Like I really think we could have got Luke Fickle.
I could have done without that knowledge in my head.
I think there was something that Luke Fickle I thought they chose Neil Brown over Luke Fickle.
They did. That's what I'm trying to make.
That hurts so bad.
I thought they did. I thought that was. I could be very wrong.
No,
on that,
I think you're 100% right. Actually, and again, this just all goes back to our problem is we don't know how to pick coaches. That's the second time we've done that.
I think Luke Fickle would have been Notre Dame's head coach if they wouldn't have been in the playoff last year.
I love Luke Fickle.
I really believe that because
good-looking guy. I want a good-looking head coach.
Bad spot.
I'm sick of having nerds being our head coaches, dude. First we have an alcoholic, and then we have this dude that looks like he competes in chess tournaments every weekend. Which, again, nothing against chess. You got to be really smart to do that. Shout out the guy that was putting the anal things up his butthole to win chess matches. You guys know that story?
That guy.
Yeah, shout out that guy.
I also asked Jake a question the other day. I said, if Sam Hartman does indeed transfer to Notre Dame, I said, is Notre Dame allowed to have that much with both Marcus Freeman and Sam Hartman?
I told him we're just going to have to take it to the committee. I don't think that's allowed.
I'm kind of jealous you guys are going to get like a hot-ass quarterback.
Hot-ass quarterback?
If he goes there. Still undecided.
I mean, he should.
But they also said that, someone could also throw a bag at him and be like, Notre Dame's not going to do that.
But
contrary to belief,
how's your wide receivers?
It'll be better next year. I'll say that. But the thing is that okay, fine. He can bring A.T. Perry with him.
Is he
if he's a graduate transfer, if he's able to graduate,
he should.
Wake Forest and Notre Dame are still good academic institutions. Notre Dame could probably take a transfer from Wake Forest if need be.
Yeah.
If he's a graduate, makes it even more. So if he brings A.T. Perry with him, probably not going to happen.
That's your best case scenario. That'd be.
But what Notre Dame has that Wake Forest doesn't is a good offensive line. So it's like you get to play next year against Clemson, Ohio State, and USC. You raise your draft stock behind a good offensive line.
But
good running
hold on,
backs.
let's throw a theory out here. What if he isn't? Maybe he's just Wake Forest good, and he's not Notre Dame good. And if you go to a high caliber team like Notre Dame and you lose to all three of those games that our man Melvin just said, that would tank his draft stock.
Yeah.
He still has tape, but if he balls out against him and Notre Dame loses, that's not going to be counted against him.
But we say it all the time. We hold it against Clemson. The ACC's trash.
Okay,
so
but look
what's the tape?
Look at what Notre Dame missed this year. What was the reason that they probably didn't win 10 games?
Quarterback.
Talent.
Quarterback. I'm not going to say talent. Their running backs were good.
I know.
Their running backs were really
their
good.
line was good. Their missing piece was an established, experienced quarterback. So,
oh, dude, I'm not saying he wouldn't get plugged in and be fired. I'm just throwing a theory out there, draft stock wise. Then I mean, again, I just don't know if he's. I don't know if he's that good. Of course, he'd have to go out and prove it. He's Wake Forest good.
I can only hope.
What would have been your record this year with Sam Hartman?
10-2. I think they would have beaten.
That.
I think they would have beaten. Okay, because I just go back to the Ohio State game.
I think they would have beat Ohio State with Sam.
I go back to the Ohio State game, thinking that, they didn't play well, but look at how they played. We watched the game.
Dude, I know they played well.
They played so conservative,
well.
but the defense kept them in it. All they were missing is not all they were missing. They had a couple other things, but they were missing that dynamic offense to be able to play. Same story that's been there for the last how many years.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
If they have Sam Hartman, do they lose to Marshall? Do they lose to Stanford? No. So I'll say 10-2 with probably losses to Ohio State and USC. But even then, USC doesn't have a defense. Pine didn't play bad, but did he also do things in that game that put him in positions to lose? Yeah, but was that the reason they lost? No.
Yeah, I don't know. All the transfer portal stuff. So interesting.
I would say, 10-2.
But it really is destroying football.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So
I would say 10-2 with a New Year's Six bowl.
Yeah, I mean, that's wishful thinking. You never know.
This year. Who knows next
Two
year?
hot guys together.
If he goes in next year, Notre Dame...
Could be an ego battle. Could be an ego battle. Could be an ego battle of looks, and then you're fucked. Then you lose 6 or 7 games.
True.
Because hot boy coach says something, hot boy quarterback says something else.
They'd crush it on Tinder. Competing against each other.
Yeah, they'd start an OnlyFans. Hartman and Freeman.
Did you guys hear about the Coppin State story?
I heard, this sounds funny. I heard about the Coppin State story without knowing what the story is.
How does that happen?
Somebody said or tweeted, I saw somebody retweet something that said the Coppin State story's not getting enough coverage, and I didn't look into it.
So, do you know?
I don't know now.
Okay. Long story short, there was a girl like talking to one of the players, and then it was like kind of like a catfish situation, and then the assistant coach came up to him saying like, "Are you talking to this girl too? Like she's catfishing me?" And like they were like, "Yeah, like that's happening. Like what's going on?" Well, the girl, I guess, blackmailed both of them and said, "You two like record some kind of sexual encounter and send it to her." I think they did it.
Fuck yeah! Shout out the boys.
And then it turned out
smashing
the
their
girl,
The coach?
the girl was that coach.
What?
Allegedly. And then the guy lost his scholarship.
His dick is too small. Wow, what a shame. Losing your scholarship because your cock is too tiny.
And the head coach, I guess, just brushed it under the rug.
He's probably like, you think that's bad.
Manti Te'o's girlfriend, dies of cancer and then automatically comes back to life, and he comes out and gets crucified.
That's
by the
true.
public.
That's a good point.
And you have this coming out, and everyone's just like, I didn't even hear about
That's
it.
a good point, though.
Yeah, I mean, he was a Heisman finalist, and in the public, light. But
Dude, Coppin State's a fine establishment.
I'm not saying they're not.
But all right, you want to do picks?
Might as well.
Yeah, I don't have records or anything. We'll know all that next week. No 5-5 updates, nothing. So go ahead. Feel free.
The Duke's Mayo Bowl. We have Maryland and NC State. It is a pick'em. The over/under is 46.5. To my knowledge, the winning team or the winning head coach gets doused in mayo.
That's facts. That is a factual statement, and it's a damn shame that they didn't name this the Duke's Will Levis Mayo Bowl, but that's for another story. Do you want me to go first and read both? Do either of you want to go first? Because I got Ty's picks too.
You can go first and read them both.
All right. So I'm taking Maryland solely because the cousins and to his brother. That's about it. I know NC State's pretty good, but the fact that this is a pick'em kind of shocks me because NC State was ranked all year. So I will be taking Maryland, and Ty will be taking Marland.
Marland.
Ty will be taking Marland. They're not playing, but I'm on Maryland, and Ty's on Marland.
I'm also on Maryland just because, I know NC State doesn't have their quarterback, so that's the only reason why I'm taking Maryland.
They have another quarterback for a long time. I'll keep my NC State pick'em.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but dude, isn't the quarterback that plays Cheeks? He's butt.
Yeah, but I feel like, I don't know. It's a pick'em for a reason. I don't think Maryland is, I don't know. I still like NC State. Their defense is still good.
Okay. Whatever. Next.
I think I had NC State. Let me double check.
This is a great name.
The Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl.
It's probably the best name.
Pitt versus UCLA. UCLA -6. Over under 53.5.
Okay, this is like zero offense to Ty, just strictly picks. You said it earlier. All of UCLA's teams playing. So I'm taking UCLA -6. Everybody from Pitt's transferring. Ty, shockingly, is on Pitt +6.
This game should have been on the big hitter, but Ty has to roll with his team, I guess. I'm going to take the over just because it seems too obvious that UCLA -6.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that statement either.
I have UCLA -6. No Izzy. I know Slovis stinks, but one of Pitt's D linemen are out. DTR, Charbonnet, Jake Bobo, they're all playing. So.
And I wonder if we got lucky here because I know the line's at 7.5. Ty has a -6 period. Let's pray that he forgot to put the 5. So we'll just take it at 6 because that's what's written here. But I'm wondering if he meant to put 6.5.
Go with 6.
Yeah, we're going with 6.
6.
But 4-6. But
All right, the Tax Slayer Gator Bowl, Notre Dame -2.5 versus South Carolina, over under 51.5.
Again, no shade to you, Melvin. I'm going streaks. South Carolina's been streaking up. Notre Dame's kind of just been staying level. And Notre Dame historically isn't very good in bowl games. As of late, you said they've won some, but just history-wise, so I will be taking South Carolina +2.5, and Ty is taking under, which is 51.5.
I'm taking Notre Dame -2.5 just because I don't trust Spencer Rattler. He's going to throw picks.
It's Beamer ball. I'm shocked. Shocked you aren't going Beamer ball with me because that's his son.
I know.
Shane Beamer.
It's not the same.
I don't even really need to say my pick, but Notre Dame -2.5. Both teams have not a lot of opt-outs. Notre Dame has less, but Notre Dame's are very impactful.
Who were they?
No Mayer and no Isaiah Foskey.
Who is that? Defense, the safety,
defensive end.
Okay. I mean, Mayer, he definitely shouldn't play.
So those two are out. Both potential. Mayer probably a definite first-round pick. Foskey maybe a first-round pick. South Carolina lost Jaheim Bell. They lost Marshawn Lloyd. They've lost a couple people on defense. They've had a lot of opt-outs, but I'm just taking Notre Dame -2.
It just shows you how tapped out I am in college football. I know none of those names.
There's just so many opt-outs now. You can't keep track of everything.
Yeah.
Tough.
All right, Barstool Sports Arizona Bowl, Ohio -1.5 versus Wyoming. The total is 41.
Did they do any cool hoodies this year?
I don't remember seeing any.
Me neither. Because I was gonna just buy the one every single year, but I don't know.
I'll have to look.
I'm going with Maction here. I'm taking Ohio -1.5. I know nothing about Wyoming other than that Josh Allen played there. And Ty's also on Maction, Ohio -1.5.
He's taking every MAC team.
Shocker. I'm taking the over 41. I think that's gonna be what the Barstool guys bet on. I don't think they'll bet on the spread. They'll just bet on the over and just want points. Yeah, I'm rooting for that too.
That's why Barstool sporting events are just insane because they actively root for their bets while they commentate, and that's a new age of football, and I love it.
I have the under 41. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know much about either team, but when in doubt in these bowl games, I'm taking the under.
I feel that. Respect. I know nothing either.
The Orange Bowl, Tennessee versus Clemson. Clemson's -4.5, over under 63.5.
Is this the first time in history that the Orange Bowl has two orange teams playing in it?
Ooh. I would think so.
I can't find any stats on it, but I think that's crazy. I'm obviously taking Clemson. Hooker's not playing. Clemson's freshman quarterback has played outstanding. And yeah, I'm taking Clemson -4.5 against Tennessee, and Ty is taking over 63.5.
I'm taking the under 63.5.
That's a lot of points.
It is.
I also have the under. No Hooker. They're riding with Joe Milton. Clemson's defense still isn't terrible, but I'll take the under 63.5 with Brady.
Yeah, it's Cade season. Clemson's quarterback's nice.
I don't know why they took so long.
I don't know.
Cade Klubnik versus Joe Milton. Yeah. All right, on Saturday, the TransPerfect Music City Bowl, Iowa versus Kentucky. Iowa is -1.5. The total is a very high 31.
I know this isn't the right pick. I'm just putting it out there. I'm taking the over 31. I'm going to be rooting for points. This game might be 6-3.
It's going to be terrible to watch.
There might not be a touchdown. I know this is a stupid pick, but I'm taking the over 31. And Ty is on Kentucky +1.5. He's riding with his brother-in-law.
Oh, I forgot. Shout out, Nick.
Shout out, Nick.
I'm going to take Iowa -1.5. Big Ten football.
I just can't take I have to go Kentucky +1.5.
Why?
I can't go with Spencer Petras.
I'm going with their defense.
Their defense does score a lot of touchdowns, I feel oddly enough.
I'll go with Kentucky +1.5.
Points.
The All-State Sugar Bowl, Alabama -5.5 versus Kansas State. I will just say, I think this is low, considering that Bama has Bryce Young playing. I think it's a little low, but we see this all the time. That SEC school that gets into the Sugar Bowl and they didn't make the playoff, they always don't perform or don't play well.
Yeah. This is when Texas was back.
Yeah.
Is Gibbs playing?
Yeah.
So
I'm pretty sure they have everybody. I'm pretty sure they have like almost everybody playing.
Okay. That's big.
So, I mean, this is going to seem like a biased pick, kind of is. I'm with you. I think it's crazy how close the line is. I feel like this is a gimme bet Alabama because it's only 5.5, and for that reason, I'm taking Kansas State. I think Kansas State's defense is good. Their offense is good. They're riding high, beating TCU, who probably will be playing in the national championship game. And yeah, so I'm taking the Wildcats, and Ty took Bama minus 5.5. You fucking sucker. You sucker.
This has the potential to be like a awesome game.
1,000%.
I'm taking the over 56.5. I think there's going to be a shitload of points.
I have Bama minus 5.5. I'll take the bait. We up to this point, we don't have a.
Well, that one could be.
No.
We're not against each other.
Jake has Kansas State.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You fucking suck. Oh, yeah, that is true. After this point, we do not have one. I'm happy you're keeping track of that. We'll see what this next one is, though. We'll see about the next one.
VRBO Fiesta Bowl, Michigan, or first playoff game, Michigan minus 8 versus TCU. The over-under is 58.5.
Taking TCU plus 8. 8's a lot of points. Max Duggan's a fucking dog. Michigan's very good. Nothing against Michigan. I'm solely taking this pick rooting for the Big 12 here. I will admit it. But I think TCU is good enough to not only cover but win. So I'm taking TCU plus 8, and Ty's also on the wagon. He is taking the Horned Frogs.
I think it's just going to be a close game, so I got to take TCU plus 8.
See, it would have been a good pick for the big head up, but, I can't get past the fact that, like, historically, a lot of these games have just been blowouts. I can't get past it. Like, it's. I've taken the bait every year. I've taken the underdog.
You probably know more than us because it's happened to you plenty of times.
It has. I am on Michigan minus 8. However, I will say this: if it comes down to where we need an extra leg, with your guys' grace,
that's fair.
I will switch it to TCU plus 8.
That's fair.
Okay.
That's fair.
But would that be on the 5-5 or just the big hitter?
Well, that's the thing. I don't want to have to.
I think Ty was allowing it to be.
Okay, we'll allow it.
Yeah, to be both.
If it comes down to that, to where we need another leg, and that we get to that, because right now we don't have one, and we have like, however many games.
Dude, so let me ask you this question: is the sole reason you're picking Michigan because TCU just lost to Kansas State? If Kansas State's going in there undefeated, because the line would probably be the same. I don't think the line is affected because they lost their game. Would you still be on Michigan?
I just think TCU hasn't. I don't know. They've been in so many close games. Like, I feel like they're begging to get the doors blown off them. If that makes sense. Like, they've been in so many close games this year.
They've destroyed teams too, though. I
agree with that, and so is Michigan.
Yeah.
But my point is, like, I don't know. I feel like TCU has just like survived by this.
So even if they beat Kansas State, you'd probably still be.
I probably still would be on Michigan. Yeah.
Okay.
I could see this being a blowout early, and then TCU coming back and covering at the end.
I don't think TCU's also seen a defense like Michigan's or the toughness of Michigan all year.
I don't think Michigan's seen an offense like TCU's, and everyone's going to say Ohio State. Ohio State's not that fucking good. They really haven't beat anybody. They almost lost at Penn State, and they had that 2-minute swing. Like, I think TCU's probably the best offense that Michigan's going to see all year.
I don't know. It was just like one of those things where like I said, there was a couple factors. I don't want to miss the boat and just say, okay, Michigan minus 8. Like, I think this kind of reminds me of, and I could be very wrong, and after this happens, but this kind of reminds me of Georgia versus Tennessee, when the line was around 8. Everyone couldn't understand why. As much as it hurts me to say it, Michigan's good. Like, they are very good, and TCU just has not, when they've needed to like blow people out, and I know that you said that they have as well, but like, they've won a lot of close games. They're like the Vikings of.
They like to keep it close.
College football.
Yeah, but the games aren't as close as we envision them to be, though, because they still end up winning by double-digit points.
But I'm saying all Michigan's done whenever they've played all year is blown people out, and
because
that does make a difference too. If the game's like close, like, can they like push through that. And
I don't know. Like I said, there's a couple factors, but
I don't disagree with your pick. I'm just curious because I think there'll be a lot of people that are now on Michigan only because Kansas State beat TCU, and I could be wrong on that. No. But I think personally, and again, could be completely wrong, but I will not be shocked if TCU jumps up like 21-24, nothing like that, and then Michigan fights their way back. Even if they lose, they'll still cover. I'm not going to be surprised if TCU early takes a fucking massive lead very quick.
I've had it in my head the whole time that if TCU made the playoff, I was taking whoever they were playing.
Well, that's fine. I'm just curious.
They're just not a sexy team. Everyone sees Michigan, they're like, "Oh, I'm gonna take that."
But
which is so weird because 3 years ago everyone's like, "Fuck Michigan."
Mm-hmm.
All it took is 2 years, but yeah.
I don't know. So if it comes down to it and I need to switch, I want it switched on my 5 and 5 though. If I'm doing it, because I'm not rooting for two different things.
That's fine.
So I'll put an asterisk.
I mean, do you want to just do it? Because we are halfway done. We don't even have one yet. You don't have to right now. I'm just saying we don't even have.
I'll
one
keep
agreement.
it for now. I'll keep it Michigan -8 for now because I really think my gut still says Michigan -8. But if it comes down to it, we need a leg, then I will want to switch it for both.
Both these playoff games have moved 0.5 points.
In what direction?
Towards TCU and towards Ohio State.
Okay.
So
next one, Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl, Georgia -7 and Ohio State. Over Ohio State, the over-under 62.
I mean, it's Georgia.
But here's my question, though, is for all the reasons you just gave me about TCU, and I know you're going to say this about Ohio State. You know, they lost to Michigan big time. But the same reason you're taking Georgia, is it not the same reason that I would have taken Michigan?
No, I don't think that. Because the Big Ten only. I guess you could say the same thing about the SEC. I mean, I get why you're taking Michigan for sure, and I understand it. Michigan is very good. I just believe that, like, I think the Ohio State hype train sometimes gets overplayed versus like their actual performance on the field. And I think if you look at all of Georgia's games, and they've probably played almost double or maybe even triple the better teams than Ohio State has. And Ohio State still has tough weeks. Like, how do you almost lose to Northwestern? I didn't see Georgia almost losing to fucking any team that has one win.
I think the biggest difference in this game is just like who's mentally stronger, and Ohio State's definitely not stronger than Georgia.
I mean, how can you root for a team where their big time players are opting out of this game?
I don't think any shot this game's close.
No, if you have the culture and the coach and all that, those players don't opt out. I get it; they're about to go pro. I think this is Georgia. Go fucking Dogs all goddamn day, and ties on the under 62.
I'm taking Georgia -7 too.
Yeah, I mean, again, I could be wrong. I don't know
how you trust Ohio State.
No,
at all.
No,
after they got fucking demolished against Michigan.
Yeah,
I'm looking at something real quick.
And
okay, so I'm also on Georgia -7.
There's one right there. There it is.
So
there's the first one.
The thing that I have to say about Georgia is I feel like Georgia's one of those teams where, like, when they have to turn it on, they turn it on. Like, look at every single good team they've played this year and look what they've done to them. However, did they have their struggles? Yeah, they beat Kentucky only by 10. It was close going down to it.
Missouri.
They struggled with Kent State in the first half.
Yeah.
They barely beat Mizzou. So I just think it's like one of those teams where, like, they get up to play against the teams that are better, and they're a machine. So right now they're a machine.
I am machine.
Shout out Sasha Vujicic.
Shout out Bert Kreischer. The machine.
So I'm on Georgia -7. So that's the first leg. Georgia.
There it is. That's the first leg. And again, listen, I know people are probably just like, oh, you just dislike Ohio State. That's why you're taking Georgia. It's not even that I'm not betting this game because I hate Ohio State. I'm betting this game because I truly believe this year that Ohio State is overhyped.
Yeah.
I really do. Like, even did they make the playoff last year?
They're just kind of soft.
Did they make?
They make the playoff last year?
No, they played Utah in the bowl.
So, again, it's not because I hate Ohio State. I just think, finally, the Ohio State hype train they're overdoing it. That's all. So, that's why I'm taking – and I really think Georgia's good. I really think Georgia's about to be our back-to-back national champ. Go Dogs.
Yeah. So, first leg of the big hitter.
Georgia -7. Okay. The Rely Quest Bowl, Mississippi State -1 versus Illinois over-under is 46.
This better be our second big hitter.
Yeah, I'm taking the over.
Okay.
Over 46. I don't know much about either of these teams other than one of them has a good running back, right? Illinois?
As long as he's playing Chase Brown.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I'm taking the over. Over 46. I don't have much on these dudes. Ty is on Mississippi State -1. He's riding with Brandon fucking Walker.
I'm on Mississippi State -1 just because Leach. It's a huge game for them. They're going to be up.
I didn't think about that.
I have the under 46. Illinois just likes to run the ball.
Are we positive Chase Brown's playing? I assume he is with this line.
I don't see. What year is he?
He declared for the draft 6 days ago.
So again, I don't know how rules are here. If allowed,
if he's not playing, I think I like my under.
He's not playing.
If allowed, I will swap my over pick to ride with Mississippi State because of Mike Leach. But that has to be approved, and then that could be a 5 for 5.
I will approve that because Illinois' whole offense.
Then I'd rather switch. I'd rather everyone just switch to Mississippi State -1. Completely forgot about Mike Leach. RIP.
Yeah.
Okay. That's fine. I'm cool with that.
As long as we could switch, I will keep my Michigan -8.
I'm so cool with that.
And then I will just switch that one to Mississippi State -1.
All right. I'm so down. Sounds good.
Love that pick.
Can't believe I completely forgot about that.
I was waiting for you to say it.
Well, dude, I honestly really forgot. Truly, and that's terrible.
All right, the Cheez-It Citrus Bowl. I saw a tweet that said there are no such thing. This is going to blow your mind a little bit. There are no such thing as Cheez-Its. They are not called Cheez-Its. One Cheez-It is called a Cheez-It. Multiple. I can't say anymore. It's in the back of my head.
Plural.
I'm still going to call them Cheez-Its. Or Cheez-It.
Actually, no, that's right.
Cheez-It crackers.
That's right. That is true.
What?
Cheez-Its are not a real thing. They're Cheez-It.
Cheez-It crackers.
Yeah,
multiple
crackers.
Multiple Cheez-It crackers
like
are a group. Neither do I. I'm going to keep calling them Cheez-Its. But I saw a tweet that said they spoke to someone down there who was a representative of Cheez-It, and they are Cheez-It crackers in the plural form, not Cheez-Its.
I like it.
Crazy to me.
My mind's blown.
Did you say the teams?
LSU -14.5 versus Purdue. Over-under is 56.
I'm just riding with this catchy name because I like it. I'm on the Purdue Spoiler Makers +14.5. That's the only reason why I'm picking them. And Ty is on LSU -14.5.
I'm on the under 56. That line's too big. I'm not touching it.
I'll take Purdue with the points.
Keyshawn Booty also declared for the draft, so he's not playing.
So you're on
thank you. No, thank you to Brian Kelly.
You're on the Spoiler Makers?
I'm on the Spoiler
Let's
Makers.
Fucking go, man. Let's fucking go.
All right, the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic, USC -1.5 versus Tulane. Over under 62.5. I'm excited for this game.
You shouldn't even have to ask me. I've been riding with my dogs all year. I'm riding with the Green Wave +1.5. Caleb Williams, is he playing?
I believe so, as long as he's healthy.
That's better for Tulane. I'm very happy about that. Willie Fritz and the boys just learned his name a little bit ago because of you. And I'm taking Tulane in the Green Wave +1.5, and Ty is on USC -1.5.
I'm on USC -1.5. I'm so glad we're not all on the same page with this game because this would be a terrible big hitter.
I am on the over 62.5. That's a lot of points, but USC's defense really is not that good. Michael Pratt is coming back next year for Tulane, so he'll be playing. Caleb Williams is playing. I'm taking the over.
Yeah, don't be shocked if Denver drafts Caleb Williams. I'm just saying.
They have Mr. Unlimited.
I'm just saying.
I don't like any of the big quarterbacks coming out. I don't trust any of them.
Yeah, for sure. And that's why Denver will draft one. I'm telling you, that's how we operate. That's how we operate.
All right. The Rose Bowl, Utah -2.5 versus Penn State. Over under is 52.5.
It's weird. I wanted to take Utah 2.5 or minus 2.5 here. For some reason, I talked myself out of it, so I took the over 52.5. Don't really know why. James Franklin's head's really bald, and I don't know. Ty is on Utah minus 2.5.
I'm on Utah minus 2.5. I think they just get up for these games. I think they're going to play well and win.
Yeah, I don't know. I talked myself out.
They ended the year on a strong note. I'm not going to lie. Like, I really have not, outside of like Penn State playing Michigan and playing Ohio State this year, like I have not heard a thing about Penn State. So
this might be an overlook game, though.
I am on Utah minus 2.5.
So that could be another big hitter.
So you have the over. We have Utah minus 2.5.
Yeah, dude. There's a big chance Penn State could be looking into their next game. They could be. They could be overlooking Utah, and they could possibly be worried about the Mountaineers.
Are you comfortable with Utah minus 2.5?
Yes, 1,000%.
All right, then that's the third leg.
That's the big hitter.
It's a big hitter.
I thought we were doing 3 or doing 4.
Oh, we'll do 4 if we got an NFLs.
But if we don't, let's not push it.
Yeah, we don't have to force it. The big stink.
The big stinky.
Yeah. So, all right,
so
cool.
that concludes college.
Keel, man.
Anything on NFL teams?
No, my coach got fired.
Great news for you.
Great news. Again, the only reason he was hired, in my opinion, was the lure Aaron Rodgers there. Truly. First-time head coach. There's no reason why they should have hired him. I wanted them to hire him so we could get Aaron Rodgers. That plan failed. You got to fire him. And, yeah, we'll see what happens next. I'm not too hopeful with Sean Payton. I'm more believing now the theory that he's going to stay and Tom Brady's going to go play with him. But I don't even really know who I'd want my head coach to be. Brian Flores is a big name. There were 2 other ones. Also, Sean Payton, and I wouldn't mind Dan Quinn. But
by lemma, he's going to be a name thrown out there too, right?
Oh, yeah.
Wait. He always gets passed up. He's Kansas City's offensive coordinator.
Oh, Eric?
Yeah.
So I don't really know. I don't know what's going on. They're running this like a business instead of a football team. Supposedly Russ is fixable.
It's worked for the Mets.
I got to trust my owners here. I'm trusting the fucking climb. I'm trusting the climb, and that's all I have to say. I'm happy the coach is fired. Derek Carr's pissed. He wants to play the Raiders every 2 times or 2 times every year. You're only 31 years old. I'd gladly have you.
I'm not kidding. Like I feel like if I were the Broncos, if I didn't have Russ, like you paid him all that money, like they're gonna see it through.
For sure.
I don't know why. I don't know why. If you were a team, I don't know if you were a team that was like missing a quarterback or you're like a quarterback away. I don't know why you wouldn't take a shot on Derek Carr.
Oh, for sure.
Like, does he have his stinker games? Like, yeah. But I truly think that it's Josh McDaniels. I don't think that it's Derek Carr.
He's been in the league for 9 years. I think he's had like 7 new head coaches, like 7 new offensive coordinators. Like, that's hard. I don't care who you are.
And like,
the only reason Devontae Adams is there is because of Derek Carr. You think if you guys get rid of Derek Carr that Adams isn't instantly going to be like, I want to trade?
Yeah.
You're crazy.
I truly just don't understand how like the Raiders could have interviewed Josh McDaniels, even entertain the idea of interviewing Josh McDaniels after he just completely imploded with the team in their division.
They like a big name coach.
But the thing is I just don't understand. Like, I don't get it.
I just don't get the thought process. This is the exact same thing that happened in Denver.
He's just not a head coach.
The exact same thing.
I just don't get it. He thrives under Bill Belichick. He went right back to Bill Belichick.
Maybe he's a fucking spy. Maybe he's a narc.
You know what's wild?
Maybe he's sent to blow teams up and then he goes back to New England.
Can you name a Bill Belichick coaching disciple,
Vrabel,
that has been aside from Vrabel? Can you name another coach that has been successful as a head coach in the league?
I don't think there is one, is there?
I think there might have been one, but I'm blanking. Patricia didn't turn out.
Charlie Weiss didn't turn out. Patricia didn't turn out.
Was Harbaugh?
I don't think.
Yeah,
McDaniels has not looked out twice.
These cheeks. Bill O'Brien was D's with the Texans for like a year or 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, when they had Deshaun Watson, they were like 13-4.
They had 1 year, and then he imploded.
I'll take 1 year. All it takes is one.
That's it.
Didn't Bill O'Brien come out? And wasn't he one of the big factors in trading Deshaun Watson?
Well, I think Deshaun
Probably.
Watson sealed his own fate with his actions.
No, not Deshaun. I mean, no, not Deshaun Watson.
Hopkins?
Wasn't he one of the big people that came out and said, "I wouldn't
think
get rid of him"?
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
dumb. That was dumb.
I think the reason that like all these people like survive or do so well under Belichick and they just aren't very good outside. Like I think Vrabel is truly like his own person, and I think that's why he's done so well. I feel like all these people learn
Can I
these
talk
things.
shit? Has he really done that well?
Yeah, I would say he's had a lot of success compared to his other people that coached under.
100% compared to those guys for sure. But in head coaching terms, I think there's a lot of teams that if they were on the Vrabel-esque thing, they would want him to be fired.
He did they make the AFC Championship one year? Yeah. I mean, he had 1 year where they were really good.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's cool. The Jaguars made the AFC Championship 1 year too.
That's true.
I just think that these coaches try to be like Belichick, and Belichick is Belichick. Like,
dude, playing for him would suck.
Oh, it'd be awful.
Oh, I couldn't do it.
It'd be awful.
I mean, it's not. I mean, I don't even know what to say. It would blow. And also, let's not act like J.J. Watt is not going to be a Pittsburgh Steeler next year.
I'd be so pumped.
How many times have we heard players retire just to get out of their current situation, and then they magically come back and play?
I understand why he's retiring, though.
Why?
Like, he had a heart condition.
Yeah, his health is
He just
terrible.
had a kid. He mentioned it like earlier in the year, like, what are you going to AFib?
Yeah.
Or something like that. And it like scared him. Like he was like, I'm having a kid. Like, I think it kind of clicked his brains. I wouldn't be surprised if he actually doesn't come out of
Dude,
retirement.
that fucking one boxer broke his spine, and he came back and fought. Vinny Pachona is something.
J.J. Watt could come back like middle of the season next year, too.
Oh, yeah. I'm not saying start.
Yeah.
Steelers will be battling. They'll call him, maybe early November, mid-November.
They've needed someone opposite. They've needed someone since Stephen Tuitt retired.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot about Stephen, too. That hurts.
That'd be sick if Derek Watt just became a defensive player as well, and they're just all out there all at the same time.
I also, the only other thing I have to say is you guys last week told me there was no chance, or you might not have said there was no chance, but you guys pretty much downplayed it. The Packers are making the playoffs.
You're right.
They are.
You're right.
They are.
I did downplay it, and I was wrong, and I can admit it.
Just in 1 week alone, all these teams that are ahead of them lost. The Commanders, the Giants, the Seahawks, the Lions, and the Packers won. So 4 teams ahead of them lost. So now that sets up the Packers with a game at home against Minnesota, who we know is, this is going to sound really, really weird, potential fraud alert.
They could be. They really could be. And they're competing for the 1 seed, which is unreal.
Potential fraud alert. That someone said if you flipped everything, like if you flipped everything that happened, like with Minnesota's games, and said they'd be like 1-14. Like if they didn't like kick the last second field goal or whatever happened.
Some guys got all the luck.
But that shoulda, coulda, woulda, whatever. They've won the games. But Packers have a game at home against Minnesota, and then the last week of the year they are at home against the Lions. Where the Commanders have to play the Cowboys. The Giants have to
with a new quarterback.
Yeah, the Giants have to play the Eagles.
Yeah, how do you feel about that? Sorry to interrupt you.
It was inevitable. They were waiting.
Was it?
Is he playing bad?
They were waiting. He hasn't been playing very well, but like they were waiting for a reason to not put him back in. They paid Wentz all that money. Like they're not going to do it. Like they were waiting for Heineke to like. It was such a like a win-win for Washington. If Heineke plays well and keeps playing well, awesome.
But I'm also not even going to act shocked if Wentz just fucking balls either.
Or if he just fucking sucks.
Well, yeah, that too.
He's
good.
Hit or miss.
It's hit or miss. So hard to tell. I think the Packers are getting in.
No.
You know what's going to happen? The Packers are going to get in. They're going to get the 7th seed,
and they're going to win.
Guess who they're going to play? The first round of the playoffs.
The Vikings.
They're going to play the Vikings.
Oh, that'd be a good game.
And they're going to win.
Would they have home field?
No. It'll be in a dome.
Oh, Dome Kirk.
Hopefully it's not at 1 p.m.
So, I'm just saying.
Do you think Rodgers can break the 1 p.m. streak?
No.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So, anyway, our NFL games. First one, we have Dolphins at the Patriots. Patriots are -3, over under 41.5.
No Tua. Patriots don't score a lot. Teddy B love you, man, but you kind of suck. I'm taking the under 41.5 here, and Ty is on the Patriots -3.
I'm on the Patriots -3 too. At home, probably cold weather. New quarterback. I don't think the Dolphins play well in the cold anyway.
No, I'm on the Pats -3
Yeah,
too.
Pats -3.
I actually think they're blown up. Actually, I think that run that they had, we'll never see it again.
For the Dolphins?
Yeah, I really do.
I mean, Tua he might not ever be the same.
Yeah, that's
after he hit his head, he threw like 3 picks, and they were just awful passes.
Yeah,
well, he was concussed.
Yeah, like obviously his
before
head,
concussion,
like,
he was doing well.
I do love their head coach, though.
Yeah, I do like him.
Maybe he wants to get out of a situation. Unlimited checkbook. You know what I'm saying?
All right. The Saints at the Eagles. Eagles are -6. Over under is 43.5.
I'm taking the Eagles -6 here. I know the Saints have a good defense, but I think Minshew will ball. Ty is on the Saints +6, so that makes me feel better about my pick.
They're still not completely ruling out Hurts playing. I'm just going to take the over 43.5.
I'll take the under. The Saints' offense is cheeks.
Yeah, butt cheeks.
All right, next game, Jets -1.5 at the Seahawks. The over-under is 42.5.
I'm actually regretting my pick here, but I already sent it in. I'm taking the Seahawks +1.5. I looked at that, was so confused. I'm like, how are the Jets favored? Then I remembered a man named Mike White that I just completely forgot about. So, yeah, I have to ride with my original pick, but I don't like it. And fucking Ty's also on the Seahawks +1.5, so it's going to be a rough ride.
I'm taking Seahawks +1.5 because the Steelers need the Jets to lose.
Holy shit! All right, there's the fourth leg. There's
Seahawks
the fourth leg.
+1.5.
Oh, fuck.
That sucks. So the only thing is, both teams. If I had told you before the beginning of the year that the Jets and the Seahawks in Week 17, one of those teams has to win in order to help themselves make the playoffs, you would have looked at me like I had 7 heads.
Oh yeah.
Well, I would ask you what year it was.
Yeah,
because it hasn't happened anytime soon.
No, not with the Jets. All right, so we're all on Seahawks +1.5. Marquee matchup: Vikings at the Packers. Packers are -3. Over under 48.5.
I was so wrong last week. This is the easiest pick of my life. I'm taking the Packers -3, and Ty's also taking the Packers -3.
I'm taking under 48.5.
I got the Packers -3.
It's just crazy. I mean, if they get in, they're going to the Super Bowl. The NFC is so bad.
Here's a conversation I want to have though. Do we want to keep the Seahawks +1.5, or would we rather, depending on Brady's thoughts on it, would we rather have the Packers -3?
Oh, I would much rather have the Packers -3 than the Seahawks +1.5.
That's Brady's thoughts on the game. I'm not. We technically have all 4 people riding the Seahawks +1.5.
That's true.
But
So both games are at home.
mm-hmm.
I'm good with either. I'm fine.
No,
with
but
either.
I want your pick on the spread. It's not 5-5.
If I had to pick,
If you were picking right now, who would you pick?
Packers. And
I mean, I'm taking Rodgers. No offense to Gino, I'm taking Rodgers over
let's
Gino.
look at the weather.
No, but I already looked. It's like because I had to decide between Kirk or it's like 37 or 35.
But remember, Rodgers is a cold weather quarterback.
Oh, he is. That's
But here's
why I'm
but
not
here's the
picking
thing.
Kirk.
Look at the teams
Kirk
who are
Rivers.
hot. Look at the team who is hot, and look at the team who has just been an absolute stinker the last couple of times. You're telling me we're not going to ride the Packers versus the Seahawks?
I'm with you.
I'm with you.
Packers -3 then,
All right, cool.
instead of the Seahawks.
That's cool, man. I'm in, man.
All right, next game, our last game, Steelers at the Ravens. Ravens are -2.5. Over under is 35.
It's just so easy. I'm taking the Steelers +2.5. I heard a stat earlier, though. The away team in this rivalry has covered the spread. I think it's 23-6. So I'm taking the Steelers here. Huntley stinks. Kenny P's playing good. We all know how football works. This is what happens with the Steelers. All of a sudden, they're almost can get in, then fucking everything happens in their favor, and I'm done going against that because I know what's going to happen. So I'm taking the Steelers +2.5 because it is what it is. That's how it works. And Ty's taking the Ravens -2.5.
Do you know what needs to happen for them to make the playoffs?
A lot.
A lot.
Okay, I'll read it. So Steelers have to win their last 2.
Yeah.
I really don't care.
Ravens, Browns. I don't give a shit. Patriots got to beat the Dolphins.
Easy.
Should happen. Seahawks beat the Jets.
Easy. Could happen.
And then next week, Bills beat the Patriots.
Could happen.
But they're out with a loss no matter what, right?
Right.
Yeah.
and Jets to beat the Dolphins in Week 18.
But don't you all remember however many years ago it was when they needed like 7 different things to happen on Sunday, and every single one of them happened? Come on. It's just how it works for being a Steeler fan.
You're taking the Steelers.
I'm taking the Steelers. Yeah. It's going to be a close game.
I honestly made my pick thinking Lamar Jackson was playing. So, sucks for me, but I have the Ravens -2.5.
Is he playing? I could be wrong.
He's not.
Yeah,
no.
I didn't think he was playing.
But he had I looked off the ESPN fantasy app because I was potentially playing against him, and he was projected like 20.6 points.
The line would be bigger if he was playing, for sure.
Probably 6.5.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's it with the NFL. College basketball. Would you like to say anything?
There's not too much to say. I'm just excited for the conference play to actually start, where the games mean a lot more.
I agree.
Especially when you play in the best conference in the country.
We'll find out a lot in the next 2 weeks.
Agreed.
Especially about WVU.
Agreed. Cool that we're ranked. Doesn't really mean much. It's just cool to have the number next to your name. Made me feel a lot better that Xavier is also ranked. So that loss isn't looking as bad as I thought it was initially going to look.
Are you nervous?
In what facet?
Just for WVU basketball, now that Big 12 plays starting?
Am I nervous? Yes.
I'm nervous just because I don't want to get crushed again.
I'm nervous.
My soul.
I'm nervous because I actually like this team a lot, and I know that this is the team that could suck me back into being a psycho, and I don't want to get my heart hurt.
Or, as Ty would say, a hoopy.
A hoopy? I don't want to get my heart hurt. I really like this team, and I really think that they can do things that people didn't believe was even possible after the end of last year. Myself included.
I'm shocked we're in the position we're even in right now.
Agreed. But again, I'm nervous. I know we have to basically go 10-8 to pretty much guarantee a tournament spot, in my opinion, in the regular season or whatever it is, which would, I think that, 10-8, which would put us at 20-10.
And that's going to be tough.
That's going to be tough. And that's why I'm nervous. But do I think they can do it? Absolutely, I do. That's my opinion.
Melvin?
I mean, they play in the best conference in basketball. I think they were ranked 9th in the net.
Ooh, I might have a argument against that one. I agree. I'm not saying that it's not great, but I think the SEC this year has been just under the Big 12 the last couple years for basketball, where while there, the SEC basketball was not very good. But SEC basketball
it is a lot better.
Very good.
Will they get 70% of their conference then?
They very well could.
They won't.
I don't think this year that 70% of the Big 12 teams will get in.
I think 80 actually.
So there's Arkansas. Who after
Arkansas, Alabama, LSU only has one loss. Kentucky just Auburn,
lost.
Florida isn't terrible.
Arkansas just lost too.
Florida's pretty bad. We beat them by 30.
Yeah, Florida's
Mississippi State was ranked. So I think if you're comparing right now, we'll know more after conference, but I just think that the SEC is still right there.
I think it's close.
They beat each other up just as much as the Big 12
does. I don't even like that I said that either. I don't want to sound like I don't even want to be cocky because I'm humbled. I'm humbled now. I'm a humbled individual. I don't even want to get all excited, but I do believe we can do some damage.
So the ranked teams in the SEC right now are Alabama is 8, Auburn is 20, Tennessee is 7, Arkansas is 9, Mississippi State is 21, and Kentucky is 19. Other teams that right now that are decent really is just LSU, and Missouri is actually 12-1. They're both 12-1.
I feel like in the Big 12 though, the worst team can give one of the best teams a run in those games.
Compared to the Big 12, every team has a winning record.
Big 12 will really beat each other up.
They'll beat each other up.
Yeah, for sure.
Same with the SEC, though.
Yeah.
And the ACC stinks. Now they stink.
Yeah, shout out Kentucky losing the other night. Fucking love it. They're almost not ranked
Last
now.
night, they got blown out by Missouri.
Yeah, what were they, 19? What were they? Their rank.
I just had it up.
Beep boop, beep boop, boop.
They were the 19th.
Like, I'm rooting against Sheboy, obviously, but
Yeah, fuck him.
but also he's getting a bag, so he doesn't give a shit.
Yeah, that's facts. That's facts. Anything else you guys want to touch on?
I was hoping to get a bigger reaction from telling Neil shut up earlier, or Melvin, whatever.
Well, honestly, it caught me off guard because I could tell you were.
I saw his face, and he was just like, and then no one else said anything. I was like, all right, whatever.
You were very serious. I was like, I'm not interjecting in this swearing. I liked it, but I was like, let go off, King.
I was hoping something would start. Nothing did.
Nope. Calm, cool, and collected over here. Takes a lot more to rattle me than someone telling me to shut up.
But yeah, I guess Happy New Year, everyone. 2023 is amongst us, and
did we make it farther already than last year? Did we do the bowl games?
Well, consistency-wise, yes. Last year, our last episode was January 15th, but that was like the first episode in like 3 or 4 weeks. So we like consistency-wise, we are 1,000% winning already.
We're back.
We're fucking back. And yeah, so follow me Twitter and Instagram at Juice Fisherman. Make sure to subscribe to the Juicebox YouTube. And thank you. Have a happy New Year.
Follow me on Twitter, Brady_21_. Go Hoopies.
At Melvin the Intern. Peace.